Some designer fragrances stand out from the rest. Their quality is so high that actually you would put them in another level, being similar to niche fragrances. Today we have 12 fragrances that I think meet this criteria. They give you the best quality for the price you are paying. Our own brand's next release will be a mature man's creative date night scent that focuses on notes of whiskey, tobacco, and is a vanilla-based fougere fragrance. And that is our very own Mr. Mesmeric. Mr. Mesmeric will be available for 200 bottles only for pre-order from the 30th of September to the 4th of October. If you guys want to make sure you don't miss out, click the link in the description below to sign up for notifications or to make your purchase of Mr. Mesmeric depending on when you're watching this. So just so you guys are aware of definitions, a designer fragrance is something that's created for mass appeal and to sell as much as possible to be commercially successful, whilst a niche fragrance is technically a fragrance that is designed to be creative, unique, and not necessarily appeal to everyone. Those are the actual definitions, and while it is always subjective as to what you would consider a designer, what you would consider niche, I would say a niche fragrance or niche quality really stands out to me when a fragrance has really good use of naturals, it's blended beautifully, it has a creative complex blend, it's not a simple blend for simple noses that haven't smelled a lot of fragrances, and usually they have really good performance also. We have 2 honorable mentions here, then 10 main fragrances in the main list. Honorable mention number 1 is Issey Miyake Noir Ambre. So this is a fragrance that's very thick, beastly, amber based. This is leathery, incense based. This is almost as if Dolce&Gabbana is the one eau de parfum. It became thick, beastly, and more masculine. That's how I describe Noir Ambre. When I got this fragrance, shortly afterwards, it became discontinued. That's why it's an honorable mention side of this video. Very, very sad because this is beautiful, extremely attractive, a beautiful evening scent. That really is the best from Issey Miyake from what I've smelled so far. Maybe this and Pulse of the Night, which is also discontinued. Usually their evening scents are better than their daytime scents from my experience with them. So it's really sad that they're all getting discontinued. But yeah, if you can get a bottle of this somehow, try to get your hands on this. This is great. Honorable mention number 2 is Ralph Club Elixir. So Ralph Lauren as a brand, you would be surprised to say that any of their stuff is niche quality. Most of their stuff is very much designer. They are the quintessential designer brand for fragrances. Their Polo line is really generic, let's say, but safe. They smell good, most of their fragrances. Apart from maybe the modern day Polo Green, I think it smells a bit clumsy, honestly. But I would say the Ralph's Club line from Ralph Lauren has been quite underwhelming. It's always quite lavender based, vetiver based, very simple, easy to like, clean. However, I actually have this sample of Club Elixir, which to me was really surprising. If any of you have ever smelled it, you can tell that it really stands out in the brand. It stands out like a sore thumb. This to me smells niche. It has a very beautiful, thick, leathery frankincense base to it. It's spicy, citrusy, leathery frankincense is how I describe it, with a hint of earthiness from orris. Now, actually, I think this fragrance uses a touch of real orris, the tiniest amount, because orris is what iris actually is in its natural form. It has an earthy, waxy facet to it, and I think there's a tiny, tiny bit in here. This is made by a massive perfumer as well, Dominique Ropillon, who also made La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique, another classic in the designer realm. But this really smells really high quality, fantastic naturals, really creative blend. I've only worn it a few times, so it's an honorable mention side. I have a sample of it. If you can get this on discount, it's an absolute steal and lasts a really long time as well, like 10 hours with a medium projection, and it's good signature material also. 37.9% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys really want to see our channel grow, go ahead and click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. Okay, number 10, Moschino Toy Boy. This is everything a niche fragrance would be. You could definitely repackage this into a more expensive niche brand's packaging and get away with it. It's got a lot of naturals in here, has a beautiful complex blend. It's polarizing, it is creative, and it's beastly as well. And there's a good amount of versatility here also. I think this is a versatile signature actually. Toy Boy to me is a high compliment factor designer scent that smells niche actually compared to anything else. I think this is really underrated. Spicy, green, peppery rose. That's how I would describe it. It has a soapy, sweet rose underneath that just smells really attractive. I think you have to like rose obviously, but if you do, I think you'll really love this scent. A lot of guys don't like this fragrance, and that's why I would say this smells niche. I would say it fits that category of being polarizing, fitting a niche selection of audience members. So yeah, I love Toy Boy, always recommend it. Incredible value for money for what you're getting, the price, everything. So yeah, try it out guys if you haven't already. Gucci Guilty Absolute. This is in a similar realm to something like Ralph's Club in the way that whilst the rest of the Ralph's Club line is very generic, I would say the same thing about Gucci Guilty also. The Absolute sticks out like a sore thumb. This is way above the rest of their fragrances, even more niche than Elixir, I would say, because this just smells very high quality. This feels like it could be an Acqua di Parma fragrance. This is a really high quality leather based scent. If you like a dry, spicy, woody, leathery scent that's blended to perfection, it doesn't have a lot of notes in there, so it's not overly complex. I think it has just the right amount of complexity. It smells masculine, mature. It smells like something successful, more rich man would wear, for example. If you like fragrances like Acqua di Parma leather, for example, this could be an easy substitute for that. A very sexy leather-based signature for a man to wear in 3 out of 4 seasons, I would say. I wouldn't ever wear this in the summertime. Got fantastic performance also, 10 hours with a medium to loud projection, beastly stuff, niche quality in my opinion. I think a lot of reviewers also say that. They've been saying that for years. I just never checked it out. I got a bottle recently. I'm very happy to have this in the collection. I'm not sure if it's a 10 out of 10 like I first gave it in my initial blind buying reaction video, but I would say this is probably a 9 out of 10 for me. This is a beautiful scent. As someone who hates the Gucci Guilty line for the most part, I would say this definitely stands out. This is niche. Bentley for Men Intense. Now you might say this is not designer, this is a car brand, yes technically, but let's say it's a designer brand for the sake of this video. Bentley for Men Intense, a lot of people also say this is niche quality, especially for the price you're paying. A rich, boozy, woody, leathery fragrance that has a beautiful amber accord. It's just a very beautifully blended scent. I'm not sure if the perfumer Natalie Lawson is actually using expensive ingredients, but I just think she's blended this to perfection to the point that it actually smells niche. It definitely smells much higher value than the price you are paying. It lasts a really long time. This is a cold weather signature scent. Again, similar to the man who would wear something like Gucci Guilty Absolute. You're a bit more mature, more luxurious. Of an individual, you're rich, you'd wear something like this. A really good, beautiful scent, especially for the evening time. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. This fragrance fits the definition of niche because it has a really creative, complex blend that focuses on florals, vanilla, spices, and then a very interesting gourmand, cool note. It is dark, complex, really sexy. This is a very seductive date night fragrance. That lasts a good amount of time as well, 8 hours with a soft projection. This is not your average date night scent. This is not a La Nuit de l'Homme that's very simple to understand. This has some complexity whilst having that mass appeal as well. I would say it goes into that realm of niche in a really beautiful way. I think there are other scents in Tom Ford that could fit that category as well, like the original Noir also could fit in there in my opinion, or even Black Orchid. But for me, I think my favorite niche-esque fragrance from Tom Ford in their signature line, I would say, is Noir Extreme. Anyone who enjoys Tom Ford must try this fragrance. It's a must try for most people actually. Maison Margiela. This is Jazz Club, but actually I would say for this video, buy the Fireplace. Now, actually most of Maison Margiela's by the Replica line, I would say goes more into the niche direction, even though Maison Margiela is a designer fashion house. But By the Fireplace has a very creative idea of being roasted marshmallows with chestnuts next to a bonfire is what it smells like. Very sweet, vanillic, unisex, really strong fragrance, unlike a lot of the other stuff that actually has quite bad performance. So I would say this is rich, interesting, creative, polarizing. Not everyone likes this kind of intense DNA. I don't actually like it that much. That's why I bought Jazz Club instead. But I would say By the Fireplace fits that niche definition the most out of their Replica line. Although there are newer scents that have come out that I haven't tried, so take that with a grain of salt, but I think By the Fireplace definitely fits the category. Prada L'Homme Intense. Now, unlike the rest of the Prada line that smells clean, simple, very easy to understand, Prada L'Homme Intense is still very much lovable, but you definitely think this is a higher level. They really went hard with this release. This is dark, intense, very interesting notes used here. Tonka bean mixed with leather, mixed with an intense, powdery, dark iris. A beautiful dark signature. If you're looking for a dark scent that's very creative, beautiful, and elegant, this is Prada L'Homme Intense. You can go to a department store with all the designer scents. You can try the testers. If you try this stands out easily. Nothing really compares to this. So that's why I say this is niche level. I always say this is a niche level designer scent in a lot of our videos. It's actually better than a lot of niche fragrances, I would say, and it's beastly as well, 10 hours with medium projection. Terre de Hermès. The Masterclass Perfumery by Jean-Claude Elena. This is complex, distinct, a masculine man's really beautiful signature that has beautiful orange, spices from the black pepper, woody vetiver, clean, while at the same time having this dirty earthiness that makes it really interesting. This is niche in every category, really. You can't really deny that. I actually think this could easily have been double the price tag and people would not have batted an eyelid. And my bottle here lasted 14 hours. Maybe now it's not as long lasting, but I still think this is niche quality. And it's just one of the most iconic, most timeless perfumes out there. This is a for life fragrance for me personally. Chanel's Allure Homme Edition Blanche. So this is the first true freshie in this list here. I think it's easier to make an oriental heavy scent more niche-like than a freshie that's focused on citruses like Edition Blanche is, which makes it more impressive. This is a gourmand-esque creamy lemon pie summer fragrance. It's elegant, bright, it has slight woody nuances, some lavender in here, a little bit of vanilla, beautiful musks. This is that Chanel beauty, that elegance done here as usual, but to a higher level in my opinion. And I think pretty much all the Chanel fragrances are beautifully blended, very high quality, but this to me goes niche. A lot of people even actually compare this to Xerjoff's Uden, another great niche fragrance. This is priced higher as well. Maybe that's why it smells niche. They're probably using better ingredients here. It smells super natural. It doesn't perform beastly, in fairness. It lasts maybe 6 hours for myself. I think it's worth it. I think it's one of the best summer fragrances ever made. Everyone should try this. L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Parfum. Again, could you argue that Guerlain is even a designer brand? I would say for the most part, people probably think of them as designer. L'Instant de Guerlain stands out, and this is from a brand that has arguably all niche creations all the way through anyways. Pretty much all their stuff is beautifully blended, but this is so rich, beautiful, a dark scent that's woody, ambery, some spices in there with a distinct cacao note. If you want a chocolatey date night fragrance that doesn't smell tacky, it doesn't smell like they've overly relied on a chocolate note, it smells weird. This is really elegant. This is a beautiful blend. I think this is niche quality. They took their time on making this. They really let this one cook, and they absolutely cooked with this scent basically. 10 hours longevity, medium projection. You can wear this as your cold weather signature outside the summertime. Brilliant value for money. This stands out in my opinion from the brand. And lastly, Dior Homme Parfum. Not a fragrance that's always easy to get, which actually I think adds to its allure and its exclusivity and to the feeling that this smells niche. This is a rare beast from Dior when it does pop up. And to me, this is, again, stands out from the rest of the brand. I feel like here they didn't care about making this lovable, but in the same time, it is lovable. People know this is a masterpiece that isn't very easy to rock, if you know what I mean. Dark, intense, leathery iris. Powdery iris, very powdery, very masculine, no sweetness. This is not a feminine iris at all. Pure masculinity for a mature, bold, confident man. Cold weather material only. This beastly as well, over 14 hours of medium to lab projection. The Dior Homme Intense is high-end designer, I would say. This is niche. This is unapologetic and is an interesting creation that everyone really should try as well. That concludes my list, guys. Do you agree or disagree with my choices made here today? And also, how would you classify a fragrance that is designer as smelling niche? What makes a fragrance go into that niche realm for you personally? Let us know in the comments down below, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my previous video on designer fragrances that smells niche. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.